Alright, so it's time for another electronic game review, and this is actually something that I've been hyping up in specifically my Discord server. And it took a while to actually get this, and despite the fact that I got it recently, I was completely unaware that it actually came out in 2021 because I genuinely thought it came out in 2024, this year. And that would be 20Q DX, as I'm going to call it. DX as in deluxe. Yeah, I was looking up 20Q game, like I was just looking up 20Q game on Google the other day, and I saw this, and for some reason, I was so convinced that this was like a mock-up for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. It just didn't look official to me at first. But yeah, this one is meant to basically be a direct callback to the way that the original one looked, right down to the exact same translucent blue purple-ish color they used for the plastic shell. I was going to compare it to some of the other versions of the game 20Q, but they're all upstairs right now, so I'm sorry about that. But I can tell you all of the significant differences. Like, for example, the shape. This is not round. It is flat. It's crazy how flat it is, but I actually don't mind that because as much as I love the original design, the globe design for the original, it wasn't really the most pocketable thing in the world, to be honest. Like, it was more round than, something that you could actually properly put in your pocket, if that makes sense. The next generation, it was kind of more bulbous, if that makes sense. It did have an on and off switch, I think, to compensate for that. And there's all of the other different versions of 20Q. I'm not getting to that because we'd be here all day just talking about that one specific part of this. And this right here, the way that 20 and Q are different colors, actually reminds me of two specific versions of 20Q. So I'm not sure if you guys remember the oval version of 20Q. I believe first off it was the 2.0, and then there was the funky purple one. But there were two exclusive versions. There was one exclusive to Radio Shack and one exclusive to Sharper Image. I almost always forget that one at first. But anyway, significant differences. The text scrolling buttons are on the face of the unit, and the only other 20Q game that I can think of that comes to mind that actually did this was Junior 20Q. We have a skip button, if I remember correctly. Next Generation was the first physical 20Q game to do this. Sound is different this time. We have sound on, high volume, sound off, and then sound on, low volume, in that order, if I remember correctly. No, undo, yes, new game. It's not on yes, new game this time, which is kind of a very strange and specific change. Light, yeah. Anyone who knows about 20Q knows that there was this switch right there for things like the Gold 1.0 and all the 2.0s. They had this little switch, this toggle switch in the corner, but now it's an actual button, which is interesting. Maybe. And on the back, you're probably wondering what this is all about. EFS. What could that possibly stand for? And what does Lang mean? Well, this is a 20Q game where you can actually select which language you play it in. And I believe this is the first 20Q game to do so. Also, I have to point this out. The battery requirement is completely different. It's not AA or AAA. If I remember correctly, it's the exact same battery that you put in, say, Cube World, for those who remember Cube World back in the day. I'm not going to do a run of this game, but I am going to show off things like the opening animation. I especially like this part right here. Yeah, that was really funny with like the eyes looking left and right and center. I don't know why, I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, I can demonstrate the switching languages on the fly thing. It's really cool, actually. There is one glaring omission in regards to the gameplay, if that makes sense. And once again, it's another thing that 20Q veterans will notice. It is a glaring omission. And that would be, so you know when you're ready to start playing the game, right? You know, you choose animal, vegetable, mineral, other, or unknown. Later versions of the game, I think this started specifically with 20Q The Next Generation, cut out or unknown altogether. Here we have animal, vegetable, or mineral. Yeah, other is not a thing anymore, and I can't tell you why. No, I'm not being secretive. I literally mean I couldn't tell you why, because it just seemed like a really haphazard decision. I'm not entirely sure whose idea that was, but everyone that I've talked to about it on Discord, for example, everyone points to it being a very odd design choice. Yeah, it kind of limits your choices in what you're going to choose when you play this particular version of the game now, doesn't it? I kind of, no joke, I do have to dock this version of the game just a little bit, and just because of that one flaw. And also for people who are wondering, especially if we want to talk about this on its own, in a sense, do I like this more than, say, any of the other versions of the game? In terms of intelligence, and I've been playing this off camera before I actually started recording this video, it's really scary, which, you know, is intentional because it's meant to read your mind. Like, it's been very accurate. I don't think it's actually gotten anything wrong once. Like, it's guessed every single animal, vegetable, mineral, whatever, that I've had try and guess. It's really crazy. But how does it stack up, at least in my opinion, to things like the Next Generation, the 3.0, 2.0, whatever? Excluding how, once again, other is no longer a choice for topics that you can pick from anymore. I'd say maybe third or fourth place, to be completely honest. It's only high up there just because of how the revised design makes it a lot more pocketable, like I said in the beginning of the video. Just because of that. And because I'm pretty sure people are wondering, no, there are no alternate colors for you to pick from, like no different color variants. It only comes in this translucent bluish purple, which, to be fair, could be a possible intentional reference to how, for those who remember correctly, that was the case with the original 20Q. First, it came in the exact same color, but then I think when it started to skyrocket in popularity, it came in more different colors as time went on. But yeah, I don't know if I could safely recommend this. Again, solely because of that omission for the other category. Because, again, it just limits, you know, what kind of, well, object you could have it try and guess. You're stuck with having it try and guess an animal, vegetable, or mineral, and that's really it. That is a big, glaring omission. It is a big deal. So, I mean, if you're a hardcore 20Q fan, like I am, obviously, you get this. Like, I was really excited to find out that there was a brand new 20Q game. But to be realistic here, an entry-level example of a 20Q game would probably be either the Next Generation or the 3.0, to be completely honest. Those are two of the most intelligent 20Q games ever. But yeah, I thought I'd just make a little review on this guy. And hopefully they'll maybe make it like a revised version where they actually include the other category. I'm not sure if they'll do that. But hey, one can always hope, am I right? Anyway, with that being said, I will see you next time.